Sean Baker's the name, Thai boxing is the game. Welcome to episode 5 of On The Ropes. I'm sorry if I'm sounding a wee bit sluggish, but I'm not feeling the greatest. But we have the man himself, we have Ross Trainer joining us.
How you doing, mate?
So how are you, Ross? You good?
Aye, good, mate.
So you're a Muay Thai fighter, obviously, because everybody I have come on here are Thai fighters. So first of all starters, how did you start Muay Thai? Like, what drew you?
So when I started it, mate, it was see the UFC game, 2009. My cousin Dan got that, right, mate, and obviously we'd only ever known fighting through being wee guys and wee square goals in school and stuff like that, but I'd seen that UFC game and Dan's like, mate, you need to see this. And I was looking at it and I was like, whoa, this is mental. I said, these guys are like, this is actual full-blown fighting and it's like allowed. And then I started looking into that a wee bit more. So I must have been maybe first year when I first started looking at it, but I didn't know anybody that done anything. And then I was going to the Midnight Week, that Fitbit thing, remember?
Yeah.
I was going to that and there was a boy there and he was going down to the D unit at the time. And he said to me, he's like, I do Muay Thai and do a bit of jiu-jitsu at this gym in the Vale of Leaving. And then I went down there one Wednesday and that's just kind of how I got in. Went to a Thai class, I think it was, first time. And then ever since then, mate, I've kind of just stuck to it. As soon as I'd done it, I was like, this is the stuff, man.
This is it. That's actually weird you say that though, because when I had Jamie on, Jamie said that that's how he started Thai for the UFC game.
Aye,
that's crazy, isn't it? Like,
aye. 2009.
2009. That's a long time, man. So how long have you been doing Thai for now?
So I started just before I turned 15, mate, and I'm 26 now. So
still young, isn't it?
It's been about 11 years.
11 years, a long time in the sport.
Maybe about 11 years because I was just about to turn 15. So
obviously we both grew up in Dumbarton. We grew up in lovely Glenside.
Place to be.
How did you focus so much at such a young age, to keep going to training, to keep because that's a lot of things young people find difficult, is distancing, going out with your pals, getting on it and all that, and then just straight up, just eyes on the prize, just focusing on what's the end goal. You know what I mean?
I tried to get all the boys to come at first and just know what everybody's like back then, and everybody's would rather just say do their own thing and smoke banger mixes and do all that stuff. So a few of the boys tried to get them out, but nobody was really up for it. But I'd had that in my head, mate, that I wanted to be something better. I wanted something different, if you know what I mean. Yeah,
instead of saying living the same old that you can see everybody else living in.
I noticed that just every day was becoming the same, and I wanted something different. I wanted some form of excitement, and that's kind of where I found it, mate. And I don't know, it was the only thing that I think I ever truly stuck to. Even in school, I don't know, man, nothing in school just gave me that focus. It was the only other thing that made me go, right, get your head down and learn this. And that's the only thing that ever really stuck in my mind. Even in school, after I started it in school, it was all I could think about, mate. See, any time I'd be sitting in class, all it was just going through my mind is the stuff I was doing at training and thinking about, right, how do I avoid this? How do I not get taken down? Because I was doing MMA when I first started. That was what was happening through my mind, mate. I couldn't focus on anything else but that, really.
Do you think that's because you could see the end goal? That you could see the vision of people fighting and going, that's what I want to be and I know what it takes to get there?
I think it was a weird thing, mate, as well. I think a lot of it came from, as I said, growing up and going inside, we the only kind of thing people understood in going inside was violence. It was the only kind of thing that got you listened to. You could have fair points, but see, unless you could kind of almost enforce them, nobody was going to listen.
No.
It was kind of one of the places where I felt the only thing that, and I think that's probably where it comes from. It's this kind of mentality thing where it was the only thing that would have gave you a voice.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
The only thing that where people would have taken you seriously. There's a lot of things I've seen growing up, and I thought, I want to stop that. Even when it came to bullying, people fucking kicking cats and stuff like that. And I remember being really young and going, I want to be able to stop that, but I can't.
Yeah.
I'm too small. I'm too especially when it's the bigger boys, I'm like, too small, I can't do anything about this, but I want to do something about it. And even if you made a fair point about it being cruel, nobody's going to listen. True, I mean, so it was in a weird way. It was the only thing I could see that could move me forward in life in general and give me a voice almost. And then I seen where people could go with it, and that's what gave me the kind of motivation to keep going with it and stick into it.
You know what I found always mental, but see, obviously you talk about Glenn Sign, talk about violence, it was just full of violence back in the day. But then you would think that when people saw the likes of like you going and training, like everybody in Glen Sign loved violence, they loved fighting, they loved it.
You would have thought
that they would
probably an ego thing in it. It's the risking, because I went into the gym for the first time and I thought that I could fight. I remember thinking I can handle myself, and then I sparred and I went, whoa, I can't fight. I actually really can't fight. And then that's what kind of gave me the thing. Then I thought, I think everybody feel our area could have benefited from it, like, and just all areas in Scotland in general.
You'd have a full team dedicated to Glenside.
They could definitely benefit just for getting humbled and just realising that you earn
what you think you are.
You earn what you think you are. I think they could all have benefited for that. But I think it's definitely an ego thing. I don't think people like to put themselves in that position. I think they just like to pretend that they could fight or have in their head, I can fight, I don't need to train.
Yeah, that's it.
And live in that wee bubble,
because I was the same, like when I first went to the gym, I thought I was a shit fighter because I'd boxed a few times in the streets, I thought I can fight, and then I was in sparring with Jamie McCaw. I learned quick enough. I learned quick enough that I couldn't fight, but it's just a mentality thing. But especially when you're like surrounded by people like that as well, like you have it in your head as well. You believe it, and then when you're in the situation, you're like, shit, actually, I was wrong. So you fight with POS. So I was going to react to two of your fights. I was going to react to, obviously we had William and Big Stefan on last week. We were going to react to you versus William, and then you versus Marco. I was actually at that fight. How come I can't find that on YouTube?
Doesn't it go on YouTube?
What? No. POS. Is it POS or
POS,
is it just?
It's because I think with fights going up on YouTube, it can stop people. The amount of people I think will go, I'll just wait for it to come out on YouTube, and then they don't go to the shows. I think that's the kind of point behind it.
Kind of just pushing people to like kind of come to the event.
So people go and it keeps the show alive and keeps an audience there. Like there's shows where I said because they put it out that they remain quite empty.
Yeah,
like,
I get you.
People go, I'll just wait for it to come out on YouTube,
or you just go live.
Aye, you know what I mean. And then it's like, I'll just watch it and hang me, and then it kind of takes away the environment of the show itself when everybody's there. So,
but if you like, what happens if you want to like watch your fight back to like see how you're looking?
Gary records them all. Gary's got them, so we can look them back. I say just don't post them.
Don't post them.
Post wee highlights. That's fine. But I think it doesn't mind about that. It'll be highlights, but it's posting full fights, and then if people get used to that, they'll go, I'll just wait till it's out on YouTube or whatever.
Over time, mate, learn. That's true though. If you think about it, like less and less people would go because they'd be like, well, why am I going to go when I can sit in the pub and watch it on my phone?
That's kind
of. So talk to me about Roundhouse Muay Thai. Is that's something you came up with?
That was me, and Mick was actually PTing at the time, and I'd been PTing just before COVID, like holding pads and stuff like that for people. And then Mick had a wee place in the Marine Craft, that wee room that he was doing it at. And then after COVID, I said the same. I was like, mate, is there any chance I can use that wee room with you? And I was doing there coaching a few people, and then it just kind of grew, and then eventually we needed to go to a bigger bit, so we went to this other place. This woman, she runs a gym, Fitness, Lisa. Mick went to her and basically said we need a bigger place, and she let us do it there. And then it just kind of grew from there, mate. It was just, we were just kind of PTing at the time, and then it just kind of
grew
a wee bit bigger, and before we knew it, there was people wanting classes and stuff like that, and wanting extra training. So that was a. So
are the coaches there? You and Mike?
Me and Mick, aye.
So Robbie had his first fight at MTV. Obviously, that's your bra.
That was great,
see,
man.
when I was sitting on I remember when I was sitting on the thing, I had the wee sheet. And I seen Robbie's name, and I was like,
"Is that Ross or Robbie?"
And I knew it wasn't you because it was MTV, and I was like, that's Ross Trainer's big brother. And they were like, that's no. I'm joining that. We're like, is it? And I was like, I'm pretty sure it is, mate. And then obviously fought that boy for Decalec.
Aye.
Almost knocked him out with a head kick.
Oh, it was a belt.
It was a fucking cracker, man.
With that, I'd been going over that way, Robbie, as well.
Is that something you were doing?
I was trying to give him something sneaky today, and I was like, he'll maybe no think that you're going to get a head kick up. So I was saying, like, I was trying to get me kind of sell it to the body, and then just
up top,
go up a wee bit higher with it, and. I don't even know what happened. I don't even know if he sailed at the body. I think he just threw it and it just landed. It just landed.
But he was wobbled, man. I thought he was going to be done after it, man. That was a good fight, to be fair, as well, man.
It's good.
Has he got any upcoming fights coming up?
I don't know if he's got anything lined up, but he does want to fight again, so he does.
Oh, that's class, man. Because I didn't even know there was a Thai gym like in Dumbarton until obviously I got to base, and we were in. I think it was Rory McCallum and Reagan Thompson who came down and sparred with us, and I asked him what gym they were from, and it was D Unit, and I didn't actually know that there was a gym in Dumbarton.
D Unit used to be an MMA gym.
Oh, did it?
It was an MMA team when I first started, and then it kind of, I think all the older guys for the team, they all kind of retired, so the MMA team kind of disappeared almost, and then it kind of branched off into like a Thai team, a boxing team, and it became all.
So is that all separate, or is it in the same?
It's all in the same building,
gym,
mate. It's just different. There's just different teams now.
Different instructors in that.
Aye, just different teams instead of it being like just one big MMA team at the time.
So I just distant. That's weird. I didn't even know that, man. Because I had never heard that. Also, I knew you had done. That's how I actually knew what Thai was, because when Bobby told me he had a Thai gym, that was the only person that I knew in the world who done Muay Thai was you. Because like that's what everybody's first reaction is. But when I've had people on and they're like, when they first found out about Muay Thai, nobody knew. But I had this conversation last episode. How do people know what it is? It is fucking better than UFC. It's better than boxing. But yeah, boxers are Jake Paul's fighting fucking Mike Tyson for God knows how many hundreds of millions.
I try and I still have to try and explain it to folk that don't know what it is. Like I'll mention it and people go, "Oh, what's that?" And I'm like, how do I even explain this?
It's better than any
trying to explain it's difficult as well. Let's see if you're trying to explain it to somebody who's never seen any of it before, and then sometimes I'll go, "Do you know what the UFC is?" And some of them tend to say aye, but some of them go no, and I'm like, I said I don't even know what I was like. Go and look it up on YouTube. I said because I can't explain it right now.
How do you explain it? But it's just like
I try and explain it as like, if they don't know what Thai is, I go right. See what the UFC, and they go aye, and I go right. Imagine just stand up, no ground game, but you can clinch. I said so you can clinch standing up. I said but there's no ground game. You can't go to the ground. And then they're like, right, I kind of get it. And
how can you not understand the fact that? But that's the thing is, I'm not dissing any grapplers out there. I'm not dissing any UBGGJ guys, man. I'm just saying when it's on the ground, I lose interest.
Unless you've trained it, I appreciate it because I'd done wrestling and grappling stuff like that, so I definitely can appreciate it. But see if you've no trained like wrestling or grappling, it can look alien and it can look like nothing's really going on. But
until you're in the position of getting yourself in an armbar and you're fucked.
Until it can look almost as if nothing's really happening. And especially depending on the style of MMA fighter, you get a lot of MMA fighters that just lie on people.
Aye.
You know what I mean? And don't actually, they're not really active in the ground, so it can become quite boring. It's one of the things I think grappling.
You need to understand that.
If you've not trained it before, it'll just fly right over your feet, man.
And I watch people in our gym train it, and it looks fucking. I was going to go, so I was actually going to go before I started in the Thai. I think I was a few weeks into the Thai. I was going to go full MMA, and then I watched the jiu-jitsu and went,
it's hard going, mate.
Man.
See, wrestling's hard going. Such a grueling sport, man.
Next thing you know, you're fucking. I wouldn't like to go against one of these guys, man. Because next thing you know, fucking you're wrapped up like a spider with your arm snapped.
I always know these arguments are people saying like, "Oh, boxers would beat this, boxers would beat that," and I'm like, and then there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, boxers would beat wrestlers," and I'm like, they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't.
Because majority of fights, hence why I always say how important clinch is. Majority of fights, humans naturally kind of lock up at one point. I think it's just maybe a natural reaction to no get hit. Humans always end up locking up at some point, and I think if you're doing that, then somebody who's
knows how to do it.
Good at doing that. Like, you're going down. Like, there isn't even me myself. I'm a Thai boxer. If I went in against a really good wrestler who is done a wee bit of even striking defence, my Muay Thai doesn't work on the ground.
No.
So it's kind of done, like, once it gets there.
And exactly, like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do?
Like,
what are you going to do? Like,
just go lie there.
The minute you're fighting with somebody and they grab you and
you don't know, you just feel them doing that, and then you're like, right, what? No,
you can't tap on the streets.
No, exactly. And then you're getting done in. Like,
But it was always something that's kind of interested me in. But I don't know if I would do it because, like, my ADHD is just too much for it. I think, like, having too much, trying to learn too much things at once. Like, because I think the amount of stuff you would have to, obviously you've trained in it. The amount of stuff you must need to learn, like, my wee brain would just pop, man.
It's super useful because, see, when I done it for about a year and a half, and it has stuck. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm heavy rusty, but it definitely sticks. Like, wee things will stick in your mind. Like, wee things today when you get into, like, certain positions, they definitely stick there.
Yeah, that's good, but as well, but to have that's a good thing to have stuck in there too.
They are useful, man.
Have you ever thought about going and fighting MMA?
I thought about it, mate, but I think, like, getting to this point in Thai boxing, it's like, I think if I started trying to do MMA, I would go right back to the start again almost, because I am a good striker, but that's, where am I going to find myself? I'm a good striker, probably on my back.
Exactly.
So it would almost be going back to the start again, which I don't know if I can be bothered doing. I'd rather just pursue a higher level in Thai boxing.
But when you've been in the game for a long time, you know what I mean? You've fought some fucking top. You've fucking fought all the best. You've fought top boys. You know what I mean?
Fought some of the best at my weight in.
Exactly.
In the UK, I'd say.
So obviously William's fighting Stefan. Well, who do you think's going to win?
That's quite a hard one. I think William is going to be too hard to hit for him, to be honest. I think William moves really well. There was a point in that fight where, like, I think I faked a kick and threw a 1-2 and he was nowhere to be seen. Like, he just made me punch air, and I was like, "What? Where did he go there?" So I think William will be.
It's going to be a really good fight.
It'll be too hard to hit for him, to be honest. And he moves really well. He's quite slick in that as well, I think, William. So unless Stefan can kind of pin him down somewhere and try and keep him there, but even that, William's tough. Like, I mean, I think
he still wanted to fight after his nose was off.
He's dead. When I actually first seen William fight live in Kilmarnock,
was that with the boy with the elbow pads?
What's his name? Kyle.
That's
Before Kyle. And I seen me and Tam and that were watching him, and straight after that fight, I went, I'll probably fight that guy at some point. I was like, because that was good. And then I ended up fighting him like 2 fights later after that.
So Stefan actually said that you two are going to be fighting too. So that's going to be
meant to be.
Is that for title?
I would hope so.
He might have 2 at the fucking by the end of the month.
Because he's got them, into. So if that's the case, then I would hope so.
There's a few fighters out there who have got titles who really don't want to be fighting for them. I don't think
there's a lot of fighters, mate, that are getting titles that aren't even in the top 10.
No,
it doesn't make sense. Like, how can you?
Where are they pulling them for? That's what I've been saying.
How are you getting titles and you're not even in the top 10 in the UK? Like, how does that even make sense? It's madness.
They're fighting, like, people are fighting like just random people for where country, for mad countries. How have they even got that fight with Flynn? Me and Flynn actually spoke about it. Like, some people have got, like, where was it actually? It just went absolutely blind masted. But, like, if I'm not a fighter, right? I say this every episode just so everybody can acknowledge that I'm not a fighter. You are a fighter.
Just letting you know.
But, like, if I've got a title, I'm fighting somebody. I'm fighting anybody. You're the champ. You're fighting anybody wants it.
It should be.
That's what I think it should be.
If you've got it should technically be on the line every time you fight.
That's the way it should be.
Like,
until
it's
somebody
easy to win a
takes
title. It's harder to defend titles.
Exactly.
But it's just it's getting it and then going, it's mine.
I'm
and then just
not touching it.
Terrified to let it go. You know what I mean?
But people would. I feel like, well, they would. Like, fans would appreciate more of a fighter who fights people just straight up fights him, just goes in, fights him, gets the job done, win, lose or draw, just go, doesn't care, just goes in and fights him. Then somebody who goes, I don't want to fight him. I would rather, I'll not fight him for the title. I'll fight him for the title.
Aye, but I'll fight. Aye,
and I'll still fight you, but
I'll fight you, but no for the title.
Aye, like, what's the point in winning it?
What is the point in that?
So you're actually talking about UK number. You're UK number 5.
Aye,
I'm actually going to pull the rankings up right now. I was actually having a wee look at them.
I think in front of me, mate, there's Kenneth Cruz.
Tam McCourt's up there as well.
There's Kenneth Cruz. I think it's Dan McGowan, Tam and Stevie, I believe. Stevie's number 1 at our weight.
I'm going to check. 57 on
57.
Aye, so you got Stevie 1, Tam 2, Daniel McGowan 3, Kenneth Cruz, and then you're there, aye. Davey McIntyre as well. You fought Davey, didn't you?
Aye, I fought Davey, yeah.
Bailey Graham's there too. I didn't even know like this website was a thing, to be honest. I was looking at what was it, the one somebody sent me? Can't remember the name yet. There's all different rankings.
Aye, there's a few different.
This is the main one, but
that's the UK one.
The UK one,
the UK rankings.
I think I was looking at fucking like, must have been like the all time ranking, and I was going,
world rankings.
Aye, I think it was fucking Mad Ty's name and all.
Who are these guys?
Aye, who are these motherfuckers? So I'm going to hop on to the Instagram. I done so I had fighters for a blind rank, but I'm going to be honest, I ran out of fighters. I ran out of people, so I put on my story, people put like, give me fighters, so I'm just going to like say the names, because there's like a mixture of like,
aye, and whatever they rank them,
aye,
but blind rank them,
yeah,
like, that's going to be difficult.
I done it with, who was it in the heavy flopped it, Dale, because it was that I can't remember the guy's name, I'm so awful at things. So go first, number the first name I'm going to use Michael Diamond.
Put Michael at 4.
Next name, Flynn Shanks. I feel like people have just put their own names here. That doesn't really count.
This is going to be difficult because I'm trying to think who could possibly be in this.
Aye.
Right, I'll put Flynn at 2.
Right, put Flynn at 2. Tam McCourt.
Right, I'll put Tam at 1 then.
Put Tam at 1. Chris Shaw. But we'll go with Chris Shaw, but because there's 2.
Aye, there's 2. But even at 2 of them are good.
Exactly.
So that's pure ruined it now. Right, well, they'll need to go 4 then. I mean, that's no ideal, but...
How many names did I give you? 1, 2. I've got 1 left.
Aye, 1 left.
Rudy De Silva.
He's going. That's no right. That's me.
I love these ones.
Messed up, man.
Aye. I'm going to ask. I've got the questions now. I put people up to ask some questions. So I actually mailed. I don't know if he goes to your gym. Look, big tall blonde boy. Look, Callan. Actually, he asked a question.
The big tall boy.
I messaged. I messaged him and was like, set a voice, and I was like, bro, how do you say your last name so I don't flop it on the fucking podcast? He told me, but I definitely flopped it there anyway. Where are these questions? Oh, here we go.
I see some second names where I go, I'm not even going to say that because
I do it all the time on a podcast, and do you know what the funny thing is? Some of them aren't even hard names to pronounce.
Aye,
they'll tell me it and I'll go, aye,
I suppose.
So Ethan Healy is asked, who's next for you after Stefan? You got anybody eyeing up?
I would ideally like to maybe get Kenneth, mate, because he's above me in the rankings, so it would be,
you want to get your name up?
Aye, it'd be good to, because ideally I would like to, I always wanted to kind of work my way through the rankings. I was never one of the ones where I wanted to just jump and go, because somebody's like, what about Stevie? And I'm like, he's number 1. I said, I can't just call it number 1.
It doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work like that. I'm fighting you, Stevie. You've got everything to lose. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely, you come and fight me.
Aye. So I probably Kenneth. I'd maybe like to fight Kenneth next time.
That'd be a really good fight too, man. Brody DL is asked, who's your hardest fight been?
I'd say my hardest fight was probably Jay Council, mate. He's brutal to fight against. He was the first guy I ever came against that he was similar to me, where he just was there and he just wasn't going away. And that was the first time, because he gave me a wee cut on my eye and stuff like that, and he re-broke my nose that I had broke in training.
Awful, man.
I'd broken it in training, then he punched it in like round 1 and then broke it again. I was like,
This is
Sure couldn't breathe through my nose, and obviously you're not meant to blow your nose either, so there's none of blood stuck in it. It was
see when you break your nose, obviously I've never even broke any bones in my body actually, I'm quite lucky. I'm going to say that, I'm going to fucking break one of my bones. But see when you break your nose, like once, I'm guessing is it easier to like break again?
Aye, because mine wasn't fully healed.
No.
One of the boys missed a pad and elbowed me in the nose and it snapped it, and then I tried to get through like the next few months of training, just try to avoid sparring and avoid anybody touching my nose.
Aye, that surely was quite hard to do.
Aye, it was, mate. It was really hard. And then I ended up fighting, as I said, Jay Council, who's known for being in your face.
Aye.
And he just, I said it was already weak, you know what I mean? They just punched my nose and broke it again. And then was throwing mad flying knees and all that. Fucking crazy.
Not what you want when you get a broken nose.
Wasn't the ideal, man.
So
we ended up getting fight in the night and all that, so we did. So he was probably the hardest one I've been in.
So the champ himself, Big Stefan Gutwood, has asked what's been his favourite fight in his career. So we spoke about the hardest. What's your favourite fight?
Try to think. It's actually quite hard. I think there was something weird about my first fight where I almost had like this mad, you could say, an outer body experience. I almost, like, see my very first fight, I almost felt like I was looking down at myself. Like, see when I was standing in the ring getting it announced and stuff like that, I almost felt like I was looking down at myself.
You were watching yourself?
Aye, well, actually watching myself, and then like I must have felt I went back into my own body again. But that was like that was a surreal experience. I think that was where I really got the kind of buzz for fighting. I think that was generally one of my, you know, it was my first ever fight, and it's not as if I was technically great in it. But
yeah, it was the feeling.
It was the feeling that the feeling was there. And I enjoyed my fight with William as well, though.
That was a good fight.
That was actually going to be what a good fight if it continued going on. That would have been good. Like, but I said, then I kicked his nose and it broke. So when we spoke about it in nose, I was actually having fun in that fight. So I was. I
actually remember that. I wasn't at that POS fight. I was doing something, but John, Joseph, Jamie, and Aldo were at it, and I remember they put in the group chat like, "Holy fuck, mate, you want to see William's nose?" And I remember seeing the photo after it, and it was.
Oh, it was so bad.
See when you like, can you feel yourself doing that? See me like, what was it that hanged his nose?
I threw a left head kick and it caught his beak, kind of caught him there with my foot, and it broke his nose.
So see when you kicked him, did you feel it?
I seen his nose was broke, and then I was, to be honest, mate, I was trying to line up another big shot to try and like ping it. So after I broke his nose, I kind of was trying to kind of pull away with my jab so I could then bang it again, because I knew if I kept hitting his nose,
it was going to get called. It
was going to be done. Know what I mean?
Aye, it was brutal, but man,
that was pretty.
How many? So POS, how many times you fight a year? Is it 3, 4?
I fought 3 last year.
3 last year. Is that what you're comfortable with? 3?
I like 3 or 4. 3 or 4 is quite a good number, I think.
Yeah.
I would probably push 5, and I think what the max I'd probably do a year is maybe 6.
What do you think's like a healthy amount to keep? Like, what do you think's like?
I think 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
It's quite because you're active throughout the year, and you're not going to get rusty at any point.
Yeah.
So like, see, I've fought like once a year, and see coming back round to that fight, again, it's like you're doing it again. It's like you're doing it again for the first time. Like, you're not comfortable. It's weird. Like,
it's good to get comfortable with the ring.
You want to get comfortable. I feel when I walk into the ring now, I can walk in with a smile on my face because I'm genuinely happy to be there. That's
a good feeling to have as well.
Just being happy and enjoying it, because that's why we do it at the end of the day. Like,
being able to do something that you really enjoy, and like that is it. That's why you do what you want to do, innit? Like, you just love doing it. So the last question we got is from none other than Jason McGregor. Shout out Jason, by the way. Great boxer.
Mad Jason.
So he's asked, what do you want next after Stefan, and what's your predictions for you and Stefan? So kind of already answered the what do you want next for Stefan. So we got a fight prediction for.
Fight prediction. See, I'm not like the kind of guy that would say, oh, it's going to be done in this round or that round.
Done in one.
Ideally, I'll kind of know after the first round what I'm wanting, whether I'm whether I'm putting him away or no. I mean,
So-
I usually know within the first round.
I'll be at that fight. I'll be
But,
there with my mates with the first.
To be
with the
honest, mate,
first round.
I always have intention of putting somebody away. So
Mhm.
that's, I don't know how, but that is the
So your
that's the
fight,
plan.
your fight against Marco, that was your last one. Obviously, I was at that fight. It was a great fight as well.
He's an awkward big guy,
He
man.
was
Mental.
he was massive too. Like
He's
tall.
so
He was
tall,
fuck-
wasn't he?
He was face Spain, wasn't he?
He's from Peru.
Peru, is
and
it
he
Peru?
stays in Spain now. Aye.
But he's a really good fighter too. That was a really good
He
fight.
threw him a dodgy spinning back
Aye.
like that, as I know.
It was some.
Just pure kind of like clip me around here.
How did it feel like fighting a guy like Marco?
It was weird, mate, because he had this mad awkward style that I wasn't expecting, because I was
Mm.
meant to be preparing for his teammate,
Oh, but really, aye.
and then his teammate, something happened. I can't remember what happened with his teammate. What's his guy's name? Ruben.
Ruben.
I was meant to be fighting him, and then he pulled. I can't remember what happened, and then his teammate jumped in. But Ruben's like maybe just a bit taller than me,
Aye, and that guy.
so that's what we were kind of working towards. And then I seen that guy, and I'm like, whoa! I said, he's a lot taller.
Is that
than
him
Ruben,
I'm
man.
fighting? Holy shit.
And, aye, so it was more awkward, mate. But see, before that fight, the Sunday before that fight with Marco, I was in hospital where
Oh, were you?
I'd made something that had happened to my belly. I don't know what it was, but I was
Right.
anytime I was putting any fluids in, I was just like spewing everything back up. But I was spewing it nothing after a while because there was nothing left to spew. So I ended up in hospital. Hospital being completely and utterly useless. Basically left me in a bed for 7 hours. Didn't do anything with me.
Right.
I was super dehydrated to the point where I was saying, look, I think I need a drip. And they were saying, look, drink water. I was like, I can't, you don't understand. I'm drinking water and I'm spewing it back up. I had diarrhea and all that. So I was super dehydrated lying on this bed. Me and my girlfriend Naomi, she took me up.
Mm-hmm.
She just sat beside us for about 7 hours. But obviously she's knackered as well. But
Exactly.
she's nearly falling asleep in this chair. So after about 7 hours, I've looked through at Naomi and I said, I'm signing myself out.
I'm out of
not
here.
doing this. So I've got up and I've kind of stumbled out of the tap, and I put some water in my mouth, and I managed to keep it down. And then after that, I ended up basically leaving the hospital. They were saying, oh, you can't leave, you shouldn't leave. And I'm like, I'm not leaving, you just left me for 7 hours.
He's done it.
nothing.
He's done it.
He didn't do it. He just took me in a bed and left me there for 7 hours. So I left, but see that whole week, obviously that was the last week, weight cut and everything, right? But my belly was in an absolute state that whole week, right? And see, when Marco first kicked me, mate, I felt I was going to shit.
Oh.
So see, he tipped me in the belly, and I went, oh no. I was like, I think I might shit, but I was panicking, mate, because I'm not being the guy that's shit in the ring.
For everybody to say, like, at least it's not on video.
You're
mate.
not going to live that down, you know what I mean? So I was like, I can't let this happen. So I kind of fought a more conservative fight, you could say, rather, because at times I thought I could finish him, I think. But it was any time he was touching my belly, I was feeling
He's
as if
had
something,
long legs.
as if something was going to happen. So I was like,
keep
I'm going to need to just outscore him here and
hope for the best.
and just kind of see what I can do and see. And then that's why I crunched him up in the last round of that and throwing him about in the crunch and stuff like that. Just because I was like, I need to make it clear that I'm better than him, but I can't go to the point
Well, I'm going to shit
where
myself.
I'm going to shit.
You'd never live that down ever, mate.
Nah,
Never. So I seen on your Instagram a while back that you were training with the 4 ounce gloves.
I do that quite a lot now.
How do you feel like in them?
Way better.
Way better, right?
Way better. It forces you to clean up your technique and stuff. You can't get away with just swinging like in a day and connecting wrong. Like, you need to connect right, which I feel sharpens everything up. Guard gets sharper and you're faster as well. So you're training your brain to throw faster. Everybody thinks that you put on the big gloves and then when you put on wee gloves you're faster. It's the total opposite.
It's because you're so used to having the big...
It's about mind to muscle connection. It's how quick. If your brain's just associating you with big 16 ounces on, that's how fast your brain's going to throw it.
Because I spoke to Stevie Irvin about the 4 ounce gloves. I mention Stevie's name every episode or not. I'm just fucking... But like, when I think how good I've never trained in the 4 ounce. I put them on in that. But like, I've never like...
They feel great, mate. They feel great.
The clinch, I think how good clinching would be, like, with the fingers, you know what I mean? Like,
so much easier, man. You can actually grab people properly.
like bring them towards a knee or whatever. Like,
can get a good solid grip of the head and stuff like that as well, grabbing the arms.
So do you think that they should introduce the 4 ounce gloves?
Only if it's for good money, mate. See, I spoke to Jay after the fight. I messaged him saying that it was a great fight and stuff like that. After that fight he had on Hitman Fight Week.
Oh, yeah,
if
yeah.
you've seen it,
It was
to their faces.
Aye, they were. I seen the photo on Instagram after it and
so
was like, fuck.
I said to him that was a great fight and that, and was talking to him, and then I said, how'd you find the 4 ounce gloves fighting on him? And he said, he's like, mate, see, unless the money's right. I said, he's like, I don't want to do that again. Because he said his face was so sore. Which is expecting, mate. See, 4 ounce gloves are that. There's nothing in them. It's basically, it's protection for the hand. It's not even
it's
protection
not even, it's
for them. It's for your hand.
For your hand, aye.
So, unless I wouldn't think it would be a good idea to introduce them into like, all the regional shows and stuff like that, because
just kind of what the Hitman done, like kind of like that.
If it's going to be for something quite to lead on to a bigger opportunity, or in one where it is a great opportunity, that makes sense. But in a regional show, no, just keep the 8 ounces on, man, and keep your face intact.
Keep your face fucking, keep the handsome looks on that.
Keep the looks there, man.
He's talking about too many punches to the head. Have you seen the stuff that's going on with Ryan Garcia right now?
I've seen that.
Mental, man.
I don't think that's in the day with punches to the head. I think that's just probably he got so successful to a point where
thinks he needs to keep it up, like.
And I think that I to a certain degree, I believe the stuff that they talk about. So when it comes to like the elites and stuff like that, I believe what they're talking about. There is definitely something weird that's happening. They all wouldn't say the same thing for no reason. Like, why would they do that and jeopardise their career and stuff like that? So
you see that all the other ones, but like you got like Ryan Garcia, Avicii just randomly died. All the other like weird ones that just Jim Carrey and all that. They say mad stuff, and
they'll make it out as if it's a brain thing for Ryan. Will be, oh, he's a boxer. He's obviously took too much punches to the head, but he didn't even take a lot of punches to the head in his career anyway.
Ross for Hit Lillard podcast, see like Chris Bungard and Paul Craig and that. See the baldy guy, heavy funny man. It was him. I seen on TikTok this morning. It was him that said that he was like, oh, I think that he's just took too many punches to the head. And I was like, but see, this is like the stuff that he was coming out and saying was mental. But it was mental, but you kind of went, well, you can like see that. Why would you just randomly come out and just start randomly saying it?
That there is a possibility, whether all it's truth or whether there's some truth in it. Like,
and then it like rings up the assumptions, but people are like, oh, but it took too many, and then everybody's putting the next story like, oh, he's probably on the gear, or like,
it's
like, don't think gear does that to you, mate.
No. I know a lot of people in the gear, they don't do that.
They don't. Did you watch Steve Irvin fight last night?
I did see it. It was good.
Fucking unreal, man.
I've been noticing a lot on one. Do you think the ties just keep standing in front of people and getting...
And just punch, and I said that
why
yesterday.
Are they doing that?
They're just standing and letting...
What is going on? Like,
I don't know what they're feeding them out there.
They're usually like so much more... Like, I feel like the ties are going mental in one championship, and they're kind of throwing their technique away. And just let it, it's just power, it's just knockout. And just try to go for this knockout fight, but... with Stevie as well, like that fight was just a full blown scrap. I don't know how that boy didn't get knocked out, but that boy Stevie fought was a tough motherfucker. He was getting Stevie was landing clean shots, and the guy was just standing there. It was mad to watch. But I think it can be one because you want to get your name out there. But I feel like Stevie's old style, it was so much more elusive and stuff like that. Than what it is. Don't get me wrong, he's fighting fucking higher level people and stuff like that and won, but his old style before he fought and won, he was so much more elusive and harder to hit. Like, I don't know if it's maybe the going for the knockout and stuff like that.
It's like a different style, but in it, like compared to like.
And you've only got 3 rounds.
Then you've only got 3 rounds, and you're in the 4 ounces. But like, I was raging last night because obviously Stevie, he didn't get his contract. Did you literally see? Literally the minute his horn went up, the screen just like took to the ads, didn't even interview him or nothing. I was like, what the fuck?
That's strange, isn't it?
That's what I mean. It was the same boy you thought that pulled out because he wasn't well, and he knocked the other boy's teammate out. But he's fought 4 times, lost once, won 3. You think that
I surely knew that he's definitely
earned. He's definitely
earned it. Like, he proved himself.
I go to Jamie for all my information now, but he's just a big textbook of Thai.
Aye.
And I said to him, I was like, oh, how? And he was like, cause of knockout. Like, it seems like they only want knockouts.
Aye.
Like they just want the knockout.
Aye, and then going to decision, it's like, oh, that's not good enough.
But it's kind of mad to...
That maybe explains as to why they're all standing there and trying to bang it out.
But the way, it's just the way they're standing there, but they're just standing there with their horns up and they're just
going for it.
Fucking
It'd be
crazy.
horrible.
Like, obviously when Nico got knocked, just knocked everybody out in one chance, he just knocked them out and then got his contract.
He just kind of flat.
But Stevie's got that power as well. Stevie's good with his hands and he's kicks and that. And then
Nico's heavier weight as well, you know what I mean? So it's the heavier, the easier it's going to be. He's massive as well.
He's bantamweight, and it's Stevie's strawweight.
Aye,
is it strawweight?
Nico's massive in general. Like even when you look at the width of him compared to all the boys he's been fighting, he's been huge compared to them.
And obviously, of course, you fought Nico as well when you were 16.
That's what I'm saying. He was quite even tall back then. Like,
was he? Aye,
he was tall.
That was in Clydebank, wasn't it?
Aye, Clydebank.
For WB I was under 16.
I was under 18s.
I was under 18s.
Aye, because I was 17.
So how many fights were you in when you fought that?
3 fights. Aye, because I'd already heard about Nico before that. Like before I fought him, because quite a lot of people in Dumbarton and that had heard him.
Oh really?
Because I think Nico had done quite well. Like in general, even back then, as I said, even when we were younger, I think he'd done quite well. So because there was a lot of people before that fight that, even if they doing Everby in Dumbarton, going, oh, he's going to smash you and that, he's going to knock you out and that. I was like, no, he's not.
Aye, like you don't even know who the fuck I am.
No, he'll know.
So I've got Muay Thai jam tomorrow, actually, man. I just remembered that.
I forgot that's on tomorrow.
Aye, man. It's 12 o'clock until 8. That's going to be banging, actually, man. Logan Chan's headlining. And then you've got, obviously, our boy Dylan's fighting on it. I think me, my missus, my dad, Craig, shout out Mission Nutrition, by the way, are going up. I think that's only us that are going up. I've been, the Thai shows this month have been banging, man. I was at Marshall Mayhem on... Did you watch any of the fights at Marshall Mayhem? Jamie Gillies is...
I heard about that, actually.
Mate. We spar with him. Sometimes he cut 10 kilo in 10 days for that fight against Mark. 10 kilo. You obviously know. Like, some people who are probably watching this don't understand how much 10 kilo is in 10 days. It's mental.
Why would they do that?
I don't... I think because the boy Mark...
Short notice or something?
Aye, the boy Mark fought, pulled it, and they sent Jamie, oh look, but you need to cut 10 kilo in 10 days.
That's hard.
That's fucking mental.
Nah, wouldn't
he won, but
good on him.
It was a good
He's young fight as well.
He's young, aye.
He's young.
Don't know what exact weight he is. And then the James McKenzie, Jack Kennedy fight.
I heard about that as well. I heard about James getting me daft Jack.
Aye, Jack's good, but Jack's got a lot of good people.
I kind of expected that, to be honest.
Aye.
Like,
I didn't actually. I
thought Jack would have.
I thought James would have done it, but I knew Jamie. I had confidence in Jamie because he's like, it's kind of similar to you, small and stocky, and just keeps going and pressing. Let's see if they gave Mark's a really good fight as well. See if Mark could use these length. I
was going to say he's technically good and he's long and stuff like that.
But I think Jamie was aware of that.
Aye, so it's once Jamie's past that,
Jamie was aware of it, and that's why he kept pressing. And then I had Siam Wars last weekend. Lachlan and Connor fought. I got into trouble for I videoed. I went Facebook Live, and obviously I was in the moment for my boys, man. It was two boys' first fight. I was rowdy. I was shouting like a madman. Forgot that, see, when you go Facebook Live, it posts on your hanging. So obviously, and I was screaming like a banshee in the back of them, man. Aye, Bobby messaged me, was like, can't be doing that at all, mate. So apologies everybody who was there. So have you got like conditioning? Like, obviously people have got their own, like, what's your conditioning like?
And I tend to do conditioning in the morning. So I train in the morning. I just go down to gym one to train in the morning. Then I'm up training Gary's at night. So in the morning, that's usually when I do a wee bit of bag work. I do some shadow, do a wee bit of bag work, and then I usually do some form of circuits. And then I usually finish it halfway with bike sprints and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then I go up and then I go up. They are
brutal.
Horrible.
Is it the bike with the big with the fan?
See Gary's one up at the gym. So the one I use in gym one, it's it's hard, right? But see when I go up and use Gary's one,
Harder
it's
than
different.
one.
I'm like, what is going on with this one?
Aye,
I think like Gary's like said it
Defo
like
has
harder or something like that.
Defo has not told you, man.
man.
Wait, that's the next POS. It's
11th of May.
is it May? Aye.
11th of May, I think. I'm sure it is.
Is there any news on it you could use? Yeah.
Nothing's cement so far. Not I know anyway.
No. I like POS. I like MTB. They're my two kind of main ones I like, man. I like MTB because of the tables, and I like POS because the fights are always fucking.
I remember when I was training the D unit, always used to ask to get on POS, so I did.
Aye.
Just always. I just liked everything about it.
It's a good show. It's an atmosphere.
I like the lights were always dead good. It was always a good.
I like the ring.
It was always a good atmosphere.
See the ring walk at Marshall Mayhem was fucking massive. It was like
pure mile walk.
It was 8 no. It was like it was like all the way over there, and then the ring was like kind of back, so people were walking for like fucking 35 seconds.
It's just for a warm up.
It was.
It's just to get them warm.
Aye, that. And then next week, obviously MTB. I'm going to go watch. We've not got anybody fighting on MTB.
That's next week, isn't it?
Aye. And actually, no, next week. The week after.
Aye, so it is.
Is I was going to go down to Newcastle next week to go watch Flint fight, and then remembered that I'm broke.
I have no money.
I was going to go. I was actually going to go, and I was like,
just go do it on tick.
I was like, no, no, I don't like the letters.
Yeah, I get a ticket on tick.
Can I just get a train ticket on tick to go see my boy Flynn fight? Have you seen the prize money, the prize stuff for that Max fights?
No.
I'm going to pull them up right now just before we finish. Some of the rings are fucking heavy good, man. I think Fight of the Night's got. Man, on this new monkey bag, I thought I remembered. Fight of the Night's £500 cash, and then
that's good.
No, I don't know if it's Fight of the Night or Knockout at one of them, and then the other one's a week training at Super Bonds Training Centre.
That's good, man.
That's fucking class, man. But I hope the flights are included, obviously.
Aye.
Like here's a week training.
Here's a week, but you need to get over there.
Aye, a grand flight, man.
I'll get over at some point, mate.
What about Thailand? You thought about going to Thailand?
Aye, mate. I do want to go to Thailand. It's just I said so much has been happening over the last few years. It's trying to get
the right time
and the money. And I've got a dog as well who is a big dog, which it'd be an absolute nightmare to leave with Naomi. You know what I mean?
Aye,
because he's a pest, and she struggles to walk him. So it's dealing with that as well. You know what I mean? Getting no wanting to go, because I ideally like to go for about 4 weeks. You know what I mean? So it's leaving Naomi with the dog
for 4 weeks. Aye.
For 4 weeks.
It's finding that time, but as well, isn't it? Like you're still young. You're only 26. I mean, you're still gonna have time. So, ladies and gentlemen, that'll close this episode off. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.